Hey, what's up, everybody? Wow, today is Friday and we are getting a massive pump in a lot of altcoins. Look at Filecoin, it was almost 100%. How long have we been talking about Filecoin? Man, that was insane. 100%. Wow. I never gave up on Mr. Filecoin, and let's take a look at it. Look at that. Look at that. It literally took back. Let's get our little handy dandy tool here from there all the way down. It took 272 days worth of price action. Well, actually more, probably like close to maybe say 300 days. 300 days worth of price action. It took it back literally in 2 days. In 2 days. That's how fast crypto can move. That's why you got to keep your head on a swivel, right? Because it moves really fast. I mean, look at this. You had a wave down, you had a wave up, it took a while, had a wave down, and then bam, you know what I mean? It could keep coming down. So we don't know if this is a flat in here, right? For example, we were just talking about this not that long ago, which is what? Which is the idea that this could be potentially an impulse, right? You have three waves down, you have three waves up, and then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So you had 3, 3, 5. So that could have been a 1 and a 2, and now we're blasting off into wave 3. I didn't think it was extremely likely to happen, as far as not, with the rest of the market, but wow, that right there is definitely a major move. You just completely annihilated the resistance. So this is really, really good. What today does, this is historic, because what it does is it buys us more time and it gives us more structure, and it helps alleviate some of the oscillators that have been getting crushed to the downside, like bull market, support band, moving averages, the oscillators. So wow, let's zoom out here. So we still have a major problem, obviously, right? We have all of this resistance in here. I would not buy Filecoin. I missed it. I did not get to buy it. I'm a little bit upset. I mean, man, because it happens so fast. Like usually you wait for an entry, you pull back, but this just happens so fast. Like if you didn't get it, that's it, and it's kind of one of those setups. Well, I tried my luck with Monero. I'm still waiting for that one after missing ZCASH, which was unbelievable. And then another one too is ICP. We've been talking about ICP on this channel for a long time, and man, look at this. This just exploded off the low, like massively, right? We didn't like it anymore because we broke the low, right? We had an impulse to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had an A, we had a B, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for C. And the C did not break the low, but the wick broke the low, and that made me concerned. So now we have this pump to the upside. The problem is it a flat? For example, this could be A, B, C. This could be a flat. This could be a massive expanded flat. And that's what makes it very challenging. So you have all of this resistance in here now, right, into that flat. So what do? We can't do anything. I can't buy it. There's no way in hell I'm buying that. I mean, I would, man, it's just, it kind of sucks because, if you basically had to own the coin spot, right? And I don't own a lot of spot coins. I own a few, but I don't own a lot. I mostly just trade the quote unquote S coins, right? So, which I don't think this one is not an S coin. I think it's, it has to do with privacy. So there's something going on with the privacy sector, right? So maybe it's the deep state, like, oh man, Trump's after us, so we got to hide our money. We got to put it in stable coins, and that way we can transact with our other deep state operatives. And then we can, send money back and forth and buy deep state stuff, I don't know. Who knows? I'm just happy that the freaking market's getting a little bit of a pumpy here, because we really needed it. And again, Look how long we've been going down. That's what happens. It's a psychological thing. Remember, only the people who really watch this channel understand what I've been saying here is basically, look, you start going down, you're going down, 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 beat up, right? A little bit of a retrace, but look how long we've been going down since the beginning of 2025. Well, actually 2024, we've been going down, 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 down all year. What does that do? Psychologically, what does that do? It makes people what? Complacent. It makes people think it's going to keep going down. It's not going to end. It's not going to. We're just beginning. Everyone says, oh, we're entering a bear market. How could you enter a bear market if we've been in a bear market this whole time? People were thinking, oh, we're going into a bear market right here. Bro, we've been in a bear market. Look, we've been going down, 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 down the whole time. And if you go back further than that, we've been in a bear market since 2021. So I don't know. I mean, people get confused because it's Bitcoin, not certain altcoins. A lot of the altcoins like XRP, Ethereum, ADA, HBAR, you pick it, XLM, ZCASH. Well, ZCASH not anymore, but man. So we've been in a bear market this whole time. So is this, you know, as you're going down, 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 people, the shorts get more aggressive, shorts get more aggressive, shorts get more aggressive, shorts get more aggressive, and then they get wiped out. That's called a long squeeze, where the shorts feel so cocky and so confident that it's going to crash that it just pumps to the upside, forgetting that it's November. November is the most bullish month of crypto, if you just look at the stats. Also Q4, and then also the Halloween effect, right? Which is after Halloween, you get this sort of Halloween effect. You can Google it and get more information. Just type in Halloween effect on markets. What does it mean and how does it relate to crypto? Obviously, it's not too bad, right? So look how fast this happened. This is what I'm saying. And then let's go to Bitcoin real quick. We got a lot to talk about. So what happens, guys? Remember, this is another thing we've been talking about a lot, which is if this comes down, even comes down a little bit further, what happens to the altcoins if we just get a simple retrace? Just a simple retrace. And we will get a retrace, trust me on that. We will get a retrace because we usually do, right? Anytime a structure breaks down, like look at this structure back over here. You broke down, you got a retrace that took the top. You broke down, or you came down, you broke you broke the high here. That's a retrace. But then look at this. You had a big crash, and then you had a big retrace that also took the top, right? They don't have to take the top. You don't have to. So if we come over here, especially if you move in three, one, you got right. You got three down, you got three up, and you got three down. Look at that. Perfect. So we could get 4, 5, or we could get 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay, so if we want Bitcoin, actually we want Bitcoin to come down more. Why do we want it to come down more? Because we want a bigger retrace. Why do we want that? So we can get more of a runway. You know, think about an airplane, a big airplane. You're taking off a runway. If you got a little tiny runway, it's kind of hard, right? You want a big runway, so you have a lot of room to get a lot of momentum, speed coming off the low. So if we could get a retrace, let's put on, let's look at Theta for a second. Theta also got a little bit of a pop here. But if we want Theta, like if you look at, let's get rid of, let's get rid of Theta, and let's just go to the Theta chart just for a second here. Okay, so remember ICP, right? Remember ICP, we were just looking at it, right? What we were saying, it was going down, 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 all year, sideways, and then down again, okay? So there's nothing from keeping it to pop off like that instantly. So how would you get that? How would that pop look? How would that pop look, right? Because I still think we needed a little bit more downside, right? Because you have 1, 2, you have 3, right? Remember, you have 1, 2, you have 3, you have 4, and we were looking at this as a wave 5. And what did we say about wave 5? We wanted wave 5 to do what? We wanted wave 5 to test 50% of the wick. Well, if you cut this wick in half, we didn't quite get there, but you know, it's in the range potentially. It's in the range of that level. So is it possible we could, you know, come down and officially test that 50%? Absolutely. Especially after a pump like we just got today. You don't think we're going to get big pullbacks? I mean, if Filecoin's up 100% and it's Friday, imagine what happens on Sunday. It's going to get a big pullback. It's probably going to pull back 10, 15, 20%, maybe more. I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, this is, let's see if there's any news going on here. I don't really see anything. Crypto bear market wipes out almost entire, look at that, 6 hours ago, crypto bear market wipes out almost entire 2025 value gain. What 2025 value gain? There is no 2025 value gain. Okay, let's go to 2025. Okay, we're going to take THETA as an example. It doesn't matter. It could be THETA. It could be whatever. It just cannot be Bitcoin or some of the American ones, THETAs. But look, if you take 2025 and we go straight up right here, where's the 2025 gains at? There's 2025 right there. That's the beginning of 2025. What has happened since then? Down, 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 down. So what are you talking about, dude? All right, let's go to AVAX. Exactly the same. Look, 2025 starts right there. What happened? Down, 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 down. So what are they talking about? Let's go to XRP here. All right, where's 2025? Okay, so 2025 started here. So what has happened since then? We came down, we shot back up, we came back down. So what, I mean, there's no gains. Are you talking about this? Well, that happened in 2024. So I'm not sure why they would say 2025 gains unless they're talking about Bitcoin, in which case they should have said Bitcoin, because I think this is a psychological operation on your perception of bulls and bears, because a lot of people think we're going into a bear market. And I've been saying, no, 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 no. If we are going into a bear market, that means we're not going into it. We're continuing the bear market. We're continuing, right? So anyways, I'm all over the map on today. Maybe because, you know, when you give somebody like watered down orange juice all year, like here's some orange juice, but it's like 90% water, and you drink it all year, you know, and then you wake up one morning and you have like legit 100% orange juice. You're like, whoa, that wakes you up. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how the price is. It's like a little bit of a drug hit. You know, it's like you wake up, you've been in prison for 3 years. You come outside, you finally get to sleep on a nice warm bed. And then you wake up and you have real coffee, and you drink that coffee and you're like, whoa, this is awesome. You know, that's kind of what it's like today as far as crypto goes. But, you know, this by no means we're, you know, out of the clear, because, again, you still have Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin since 2023 has been going up, 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 year after year after year after year after, you know, it's been going up a long time. So that's the problem. That's the only problem we have. But here's the other thing. Altcoins, as we know, we just look at Filecoin. Look how long that took. It literally took 2 candles, right? 2 candles. That's 4 days. It took 4 days to go up that amount. So that tells me it doesn't need a lot of time. Look at XRP back in the day. It literally only took 30 days, right? If we look at all the XRP runs, right? How long did that take? Literally not that long. Let's take a look. How long? Because what do we need? We need time. Why do we need time? To complete what? The wave. And I'm going to show you what wave I'm talking about. Look at that, took 30 days. So it's really between 2 and 4 weeks. That's all you need, is between 2 and 4 weeks. That's it. To really, 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 maybe even less. Like back over here, let's take a look. Look how long this one took. This one took 23 days to 26 days, roughly. So you're looking at that 20-day level. Okay, so if all you need is 20 days, then Bitcoin can hang up there for 20 days. It's not a big deal, right? But we need to get in position for the wave. How do you get into position? Well, you gotta finish this. You gotta create a little bit of a base. You gotta pump up. You gotta flag out, and then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because all we need, look, XRP has been in a bear market since 2018. This entire time, it's been in a bear market, right? It started here. We've been going down. We came back up, but then we went down. We went sideways forever. Then we came up. We went sideways forever. Then we came up. And now we're consolidating right at the high. Where's the bull market? There's no bull market. The bull market happens when you go into price discovery. And that happens when you break out. And once you break out, that's when the 20 days starts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all you need. That's literally all you need is one wave up. And then I can come out and say, okay, now we're going into a bear market potentially. Now, why would you do that? Why would you spend year after year after year after year after year in a bear market only to just break out 5 waves for 20 days and then go into another massive bear market? It just kind of doesn't make, like, that's ridiculous, right? And that's just the way it works. That's how it works. I mean, that's what XRP presents right here. Look at this. You go sideways forever just to get a little bit of a sliver of, but it's a big sliver. It's a massive pump. And then you go sideways forever. So is this pump going to be the same? You know, is it going to be similar to that? I really think so. Remember, guys, we have ammunition. What type? ETF. We have the XRP ETF coming soon. What happens when that happens? Well, I mean, obviously it could crash, right? But a rumor, right? Oh, it's here, right? So it's kind of like this right here. Judge Torres, XRP is not a security. Boo! We pumped to the upside. And then it's like, okay, but we're not ready to go yet, so we got to come back down and wait our turn. Now we're ready to go. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, again, this is still the same thing, right? We have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, WXY 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we need to get 5. And that's all we need is one more wave. So does that happen soon? I mean, I don't know. It's still up in the air here. You know, this is an exciting day because everything is popping off. But unfortunately, I didn't really get to participate in any of the big ones except for Monero, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. I did throw in, I remember a while, not that long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, I think I had some money that I was going to put into USDC and just keep it and earn interest. But I just said, you know what, let me throw it into Litecoin, because I don't think Litecoin, because if you look at Litecoin, right, it's trending here, right? And we caught this trend line, and I felt like, well, Litecoin would be a safer option because it has a lot of support, right? So that's why my thought was, all right, I'll put it in Litecoin. And then look at this, we're up 100, we're basically at $100. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool to see. But the same thing with Litecoin, right? You can say, well, who cares about Litecoin? It doesn't matter. It just means, like, you know, you want all your, think about Litecoin as a soldier. You want all your soldiers healthy. You want all your soldiers optimal, right? So this is just an example of one of our crypto soldiers here, right? That we've been trending up. So you have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You go sideways forever, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 3-way pullback. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a 3-way pullback. You got a 1, 2. You got a 1. You got a 2, right? So what comes next? Well, we should see a massive explosion like we're seeing with ZCASH, like we saw with XRP, right? So very confident in Litecoin, and let's take a look at, well, let's go back to Bitcoin because I guess we didn't really look at it a good amount. We're going to look at THETA. We're going to look at everything. So maybe not too many, but let's see where it takes us. But look I mean, Bitcoin looks great. Look. You got 3 down. You got 3 up. You got 3 down. See, when I always say that, I don't, there's a lot of channels out there that make it very complicated. But you guys know my style. I keep it simple, right? You got to keep it simple. I don't have a million indicators on the screen. I got no indicators on the screen. It's completely naked because it really matters about the price structure, right? Now, you have this gorgeous 3-way move down, right? So we have 3. So we're at support. So we want to see it either do 2 things. One, we want to see a base, and then we want to see a retrace. If we get that, altcoins are going to go crazy. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, if that doesn't happen, then this could be this could be, let's see here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 waves up, and then you would get 1, 2, 3, 4, and you still need one more 5 down, right? And that would be 5, 3, 5. That would be ABC, right? That would be 3. And then you kind of sweep the lows, and then you get the retrace. So either way, I think we should get a retrace coming up soon, right? Remember, Bitcoin has went down. Bitcoin had an all-time high of $126,000 on October 6th. That's a lot. And since then, it's gone down, what? I can't really see because it's in the way. It's gone down basically almost $30,000. So Bitcoin is a $1 trillion asset class. It's massive. It's a huge market cap. And this massive market cap has gone down over 20%. That's crazy. Think about that for a second. That's like freaking Amazon crashing 20%. Like, like Amazon would never crash 20. Like that would be the darkest day in history if that happened, right? And here we have Bitcoin doing it like nothing, right? So it's sufficient enough, right? People think, oh, it has to be more. Remember, the more Bitcoin is exposed, the more people. You don't think these big hedge fund, these billionaires, and these guys, you don't think they're buying the crap out of it, right? Because they have all of this money. What do you do with it? If I gave you $10 million, what would you do with it? You would put it in the bank. You would get screwed. You would lose. You would lose because you would get killed in inflation. That's like my dad. My dad's scared. He will not invest. And I tell him, scared money don't make money. He goes, yeah, but my money's safe. I know, but your money's not safe because it's getting killed with inflation. He goes, well, at least it's not getting hacked, At least it's not. I mean, you got to be careful, You got to be careful with crypto, but you don't want to get hacked. But at the same time, you want to make money, right? And so if these guys that have all this money, what do they do with it? They can shove it into stocks. They shove it into gold. Well, you can't shove it into gold. Gold's already gone up a lot, right? So what are they shoving it into? Well, Bitcoin's already high. Bitcoin's at 100,000. It's been going up for 3 years. What else do we shove it into? Altcoins. Why can't we shove it into altcoins? Look at this. Filecoin's up 78%. It's still a lot, man. I should have took the short when we were at 100. Let's take a look here at the 5-minute chart. Man, I really, because I had that money, I transferred it to Coinbase. I was looking at Filecoin too, because I wanted something super dirt cheap and that didn't have a lot of risk. And if you look at Filecoin, it's at all-time lows, right? So just if we stayed here, if we just got back, like think about this. I'm just going to put it right there where the wick ended. And if we go up, yeah, that's like 200%. Okay, so if we go all the way up to the retrace, that's like between 6 and 7,000%. That's insanity. That's like a 60, 70x. Just to get to the retrace, not even talking about everything else. All right. So XRP versus Bitcoin is looking good. I like the way it's looking here on this 10-day chart because look, you came down and then as you're going down, 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 then you flip red, green, red, green, red, green, letting you know, hey, I don't want to go down anymore, right? I'm trying to hold steady here. Another very important thing is Bitcoin dominance. Oh, that's what we wanted. Look at that. We got a red candle here. Yep, that's exactly what we wanted. We came down and right, and then we came up. It looks like we came up in 3 waves here. We got a big rejection, and then it came back up in 3 to retest 50% of the wick. Remember that, right? It came here to retest, well, not 50%, but some of that wick. 50% is just kind of the baseline, but so we're holding support in here. I want to see that trend line break. This is the only chart you really need to look at right here. So all you need to do is take a trend line, put it right there, and put it right there. As soon as we break that trend line, it's not gonna. It doesn't mean we're ready to go, but it means that, hey, you know, we should at least come back down to here, right? And look what just happened today. You know, you have coins that are up massively. You know, now look at XRP. It's only up, it's only up 5%. Not a big deal, right? Monero's only up 4%. But look at AXS is up 20%. SHIB is up 11%. See, you don't need like 30, 40%. You just need between 8 and 12%. That is a big deal. Between 8 and 12%. So as long as you're between that, you're on fire. Look at THETA, it's up 21%. We're still going to talk about ADA is up 8%. So this is a big day. This is a big day for crypto, and we have Bitcoin dominance. Because honestly, crypto's been hella boring. You know, gold's been going up massively. Silver's been going up massively. Oh my God, all the gold and silver guys. And then the stock market's going all-time highs. Meanwhile, the crypto bros are like, what's up, bro? What's up? Why can't we go? Trump, come on, Trump. What's going on? I thought you were America first. What happened? I thought you were crypto first. And Trump's like, hey, relax. I got to do other stuff first. No, but Trump's family, you know why I'm invested in crypto? You know why I'm never going to sell? Well, I'm going to sell, but I'm not going to sell like completely out of the market. The reason why is because the president of the United States, the most powerful man on the planet, most of his wealth, guess what? It's going into crypto. You know why? Because his sons have enlightened him technologically. They're a little bit late to the party, but if you look at World Liberty Financial Group, it's a DeFi platform that Trump has. I mean, look at all the crypto they're invested in. I mean, I think they're like one of the top 10 Bitcoin holders in the world. Do you not believe that they're going to put policies forward to help crypto achieve higher gains? Absolutely. That's all we have to know. That's why people get scared. Like, oh, the market's coming down. I'm scared. People are scared of what they don't understand. People are scared because they don't understand, why are people selling? Why is the market coming down? Why is this happening? When in reality, it's technical. It's really purely technical. But you don't really have to know that. All you have to know is that eventually, at some point, we will see a massive bull run within the next couple years, right? In terms of alt season, right? Because again, if you have the president of the United States, first of all, when President Trump, during that whole election cycle, I kept saying, you better hope Trump wins. You better hope Trump wins. I felt very strongly he was going to win, and he won, and crypto blasted off. Why? Because of his political view on crypto. And, I hate talking about politics, but, getting Trump elected was a very important puzzle piece to this crypto jigsaw puzzle that we're all trying to figure out. So, all right, let's keep looking here. Ethereum. So Ethereum, well, you should ask yourself, well, how come Ethereum isn't performing? Okay, so how come XRP and Ethereum, like let's look at XRP for a second. Look at XRP. XRP didn't really do anything. But you look at Filecoin, it blasts off. You know why? Because it's all about what? Rotations, right? So XRP exploded like crazy. So now it has to relax. It has to chill out a while, right? Now, if you look at something like Filecoin, the reason why it went up 100% is number one, look, it's been going down forever since 2021. It's had it's had basically nothing, right? It had a little bit of a retrace, but it's been going down, 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 down. So this little pop here is massive because of all of the selling, right? That's why I was so attracted to it. That's why I was looking at it for a while. So that's why when we look at XRP, you know, you're only up 5%, which is still a big deal, but it's not too much of a big deal. Why? Because XRP's had been going up, right? It went up a lot. So we have to wait for it to get back in position. You know, I've often stated I don't like the way that looks, how it comes up and it bottlenecks. It already broke the low. It came up, it retested the high, and now it's retesting this low again. So we really need to hold in here. Okay. I put out a live trading video the other day, and we were looking at the 5-second chart. Go watch that video. I think it's cool. It kind of highlights, you know, how you kind of react during a live trading session here. So, but essentially I bought at 208. Let's look at the trade. So here's the trade. I still didn't close it. It was 208, and look at that. We're at 233. That's 167%. And I currently doing XLR up 82%. And Ethereum, I just went long probably before we did this video. I may cut it, I may not, I don't know. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I didn't get to bust out on Monero or ZCASH or ICP or Filecoin. I mean, those, and you know, it's funny because we were looking at those too. I mean, how often do we look at Filecoin and ICP? I mean, you know, not too much lately, right? And again, that's what happens. You get complacency, right? Because you feel like, you know, if you're moving down day after 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 day, what that does is it psychologically makes you think it's going to keep happening. And then all of a sudden, bam, and it shoots up instantly, and you're like, what happened? See, that's why I say you got a dollar cost average. You got to just continue. Don't think about, oh, it's barely going into a bear market, because what that does is it psychologically makes you think like, oh, well, I'm just going to wait for the bear market. So that's what happens. That's where they trick a lot of people. They say, oh, we're going into a bear market, when in reality we're in a bear market. And then they say, don't buy, because why would you buy now when we're just barely going into a bear market? You should wait until we're knee deep in the bear market, then start buying. But, you know, so I agree with that to some extent. But if you look at, like, again, Filecoin all-time lows, like, what's the problem? You know, it's been in a bear market. So anyways, it's a little bit interesting, frustrating at the same time. So we have, it looks like to me, we have, you know, that trading session I bought right here at like 208. We went all the way up, took some profit. I came all the way back down. I held it. I did not sell it. And then we created this little, this could be a flat here. So I'm very, it could be a flat. So if it is, then we could see 5 down, right? So it would be like 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then we go up in 5, and that's your double bottom. So, yeah, you kind of have a double bottom in here. So, another double bottom there slightly. But the real test would be to break above this. And I still hate this new trend line crap. It's like, dude, why is it so retarded? It tracks. See how it's tracking each candle? I don't like that. I just want it to go where I want it to go. Like, why is it so stupid? And I've tried resetting all the settings. I don't know if it's a new update they did, but it's really annoying. And I hope they change it back. But I want to see it get above that trend line here. We are going into the weekend, so I would not be buying. Today is not the day to buy, guys. Today is not the day to buy. All right? Today, not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. We could go up another 15% tomorrow, but it's just, anytime you go up massively across the board, and XRP did not go up massively, but it's still correlated with the rest of the market. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some big pullbacks coming up soon, right? It just started, so we'll see. But we didn't really talk about Ethereum because I'm all over the place. But basically, Ethereum, you have this little bottom here. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5? That's what I really don't know, and that would make a lot of sense too. If this would be 1, 2, 3, and then we have a three-way pullback for 4, and then we come down and get 5, and then this would be ABC, right? So you would have 3, 3, 3. So we'll see. As far as the retrace level are concerned, I mean, we had a 50% retrace on that first drop there. Well, no, it's actually, we hit the 618. So if you take this whole wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, look at that. We had a 618. So this would be an area to definitely consider buying the dip. Anytime you have a 618 retrace. Now, if you bring this son of a gun down all the way down here and you take the whole context of the wave, well, you're only at the 50% level, in which case, you could come down to that 618 level. But you don't want to break this level. I'll tell you what, if we break below 2,500, then it's likely we're going to continue the bear market. Not enter a bear market. We're going to continue the bear market for altcoins, right? We have to look at individual assets, not just because Bitcoin's, it doesn't mean crypto itself is in a bull market. And that's where the deception is. That's where the trickery is. That's where people are going to get screwed hard. So Ethereum is extremely bullish. I've been saying that. I don't know how many days. Because why? Because look, massive impulse, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then we have 3 waves back down. That's a 3, 3, 3, right? Inside of a range. Inside of a range. Hit the bottom, hit the top, hit the bottom, hit the top, hit the bottom. That's very important. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and then you have 3 down, which is 4. So what do you need? You need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's over. Why can't we get that? Why is that so hard to do? All of these years, year after year after year after year after year, in the making, just to get this freaking move up here, right? Pretty interesting stuff. So that's what happens when you get a double bottom. I want you to take a look at this right here. Notice the price comes down, comes up, comes back, and it makes a slightly higher high. All right, now remember that. Now look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Comes all the way down, comes up, makes a slightly higher high. So this could be, this could get going here a little bit just to clear things up. But I just don't really like the wave structure in here. It's not the nicest looking. It's kind of like you had a flag type, but then you broke below it. So I don't know. I just don't really like Ethereum a lot. I mean, I like it. I just don't like the structure of the wave. It's not my favorite. Okay, it's not my favorite. But I do like this three-wave move here, and that's all we need to know, right? So we have three, right? We see the threes. So yeah, this looks promising. This looks promising. All right, so Bitcoin, same thing, right? You got a little bit of a double bottom here. You know what? I should have bought a little bit of Bitcoin right there off that low. So another thing too, let's look at something else. I got to look at something else here. XLM. Let's look at XLM for a minute. So yeah, I kind of like it here. Okay. So we have three waves down, we have three waves up, and I want to say that's three, but I just don't like the shape of it a lot. You know, it could also be a triangle, right? So we have 3A, B, C. And remember, we talked about this. D, and then we would get E. I love that. I love that a lot because it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because you have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, and where do triangles come? They come in fourth waves. They always come in fourth waves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I would say not always, but usually, right? So A, B, C, D, E. Right now we're in A, B, C, A, B, C. We're in the C wave. So we need to go up in D, and then we come down in E, and then we can go. Right? It's triangular. Yeah, you got, look, XLM is going to be a beast when it breaks out. Just letting you know. Because remember, XLM has not broken out since 2018. That's 8 years. That's a long time to not, you know, basically your pressure cooker. You're in a pressure cooker. You're cooking. You're cupping into the resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. You have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. You have three waves up. You have three waves down. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth wave triangle. You need 5. Where's 5? It has to finish. There's no finish. That's why I'm not convinced we're going into a bear market. And this in itself is a triangle. A, B, C, D, E. Right? So yes, blockchain backer can look at his MACD crossover, and I think he's right. You know, but look, Bitcoin can be in a bear market, but it could still give us an alt season. How you need a retrace. It's all about the retrace, right? So if we look at Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin comes down a little bit further, right? First of all, Bitcoin, I think, is still decent because look. You build a base, you come down here, you build structure, you break out, you build more structure, you break out, you build more structure, you break out, you build a little bit more structure, and then you go parabolic. See this, we built a little bit of structure, we went parabolic, it was too much. So then we flagged out, and then we came up, we built a little bit of a base, and then we went parabolic again, right? It wasn't as organic. This is a lot more organic. We have a base, come up a little bit, another base, come up a little bit more, another base, come up a little bit more, and then you have A, B, C. This could be a flat right here, A, B, C. You know, and that could be another base, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We created 4 bases right in here, right? So. And the reason why you want to create a base is because when you go sideways, you're building structure, you're building a support, right? Think about when you go to the gym and you lay down on the bench press, okay? The bench press, you can't, how does the bench press work? You have to lay down on the bench. You have to lay flat on your back or whatever on the bench, right? You have to have that support in order to push the weight up. So it's the same thing like a skyscraper. You got to build that foundation in order to build up, right? If you're going to build Legos and you're going to build Legos up, what's going to happen? It's going to fall down. But if you build Legos like this, you know, in a pyramid structure, you know, or whatever, you know, a skyscraper structure, it's going to last. It's going to last longer. because you have all of these floors of support. So all I'm saying is you have more floors of support compared to this. This you went straight up and it was unsustainable. This you actually have legit support. So let's just highlight it real quick here, and then I'm gonna take, and then so you know, you got these little platforms here, and you know, if we just take a little bit over to the side here, you could see, you know, as long as we're above that all-time high, this could be a flat, right? So look what happened here. You have a double top, you came down, you came up, you flagged out. This is, by the way, this is where XRP is, right here. Right here. It's right at the all-time high. It's floating above it, right? So then what happened is you broke out, you came back, you back tested it, and then you came back up. So this could come all the way back down and it could be a three-wave move, right? Boom, boom, boom. And if that's a three-wave move, then what does that do? It gives us a base. And if we get a base, then what do you get after that? A retrace. You either break the top or you get a retrace. Either way, this is a big chart here. This is the 8-day chart. Let's go down to the 2-day chart, right? So if this is like 3 down, we get 3 up, we get 3 down, and then we get a big retrace. I mean, you could get a massive alt season, a massive X. You know, it doesn't take a lot, right, for XRP to break out. Remember, back over here, XRP didn't break out until we went into the retrace. This is when XRP really exploded. Okay, after Bitcoin was already in a bear market, that's when XRP exploded. So we should cheer for a Bitcoin. That's probably why we haven't seen an alt season yet, is because Bitcoin has taken so long for it to go into its bear status, right? Look how long it's taking, right? So the altcoins are like, well, we can't move until Bitcoin goes into a bear market, but Bitcoin hasn't went into a bear market yet, right? Like back over here, we went into a bear market, bam, and then we went into a retrace. But if you look at what XRP did during that time, it went straight up. See, it started right here. Started right here. Whoops, right there. And then we came down, we went up, we went sideways, we went up, we retraced, we really went up, right? We went completely up. So if we translate that to this, okay, if this comes down a little bit more and then we get a retrace, that could really get us going here. So let's see how it plays out. All right, let's take a look at THETA. I want this one. It's up 21%. Damn. You know what? Did I get THETA fuel? Hold on a minute. Yeah, I did. I was looking because I got some spot THETA fuel. Thank goodness. Remember that one day I was talking about, I go, oh, I like it better than I like the way THETA looks. So I put a little bit of money into THETA fuel the other day. But look, you know, the large time frames, there's really nothing changed here. But again, let's just run through the big time frames. You got your base, you got your breakout, you got 5 down, you got 3 up, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So this could be complete. This could be a completed thing, right? Meaning you have A, B, and C. It's done. It's complete. So let's put so it's, you know, it's at the end of the day, we're looking at a wave 2. So, and this whole thing is a bear market. So when people say, oh, we're just going into a bear, no, we've been in a bear market the whole time. So that's the deception that they want you to believe. Now, anyone who says, oh, we're going into a bear market, what they mean is Bitcoin going into a bear market. Altcoins have been in a bear market the whole time. Remember that. Okay, so there's a couple ways we could look at this. One is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So A, B, C, it's done. Or you can say that this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 3, and then we come up and get 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's your C wave, and that gets us a little bit further down, test more of that wick, this wick here, build a base, and then go up, right? Or if it's complete now, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I'd say we're you know, it's like I've been saying, we're not quite finished, I don't think. But a big impulse will definitely help, because the idea here is, you know, we're trying to test range boundaries, right? So we came all the way down, we came all the way up, we tested the top of the range, then we established the top, right? We established the top right here, then we came down, and then we established the bottoms, and now we're coming back up. So now we're establishing a base, we're establishing a range, and that range can work itself, and then eventually you build a little bit of a base here, and then you could break out of it and get into the retrace level, because I'm expecting a retrace level. I've been expecting it, you know, for a while, right? I wanted to see it back here, but we didn't get that. What we got was 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle, and then 5. So now we're done, right? We've got to be complete. Look at the bullish divergence we have on theta on the 3-day chart. You know, I've seen in the comments people were giving up. They go, why do you cover theta? It's a dead coin. Well, it's not dead until it's dead, right? So, you know, it's all about it. You have to measure crypto through its resiliency. That's why I love XRP so much, because they threw everything at it, including the kitchen sink, and it still performed very well under, you know, being an SEC lawsuit, Coinbase delisting it, you know, all of these problems, Joe Biden, Gary Gensler, right, trying to destroy it, and it held. And then Trump got elected, and then it was allowed to run, and now it ran, but it's a little bit tired, so now it's got to relax and take a breath. So during that time, theta is coming down and trying to finish this wave, because I've been saying once this wave finishes, we're likely to see a massive retrace. So, you know, what do you do in that situation? You want to accumulate as much as you can. In my opinion, that's just the way to do it. So, you know, even if this has to come down a lot further, you know, if this is 1, 2, 3, and then we have like a 4 and then a 5, you know, it's still we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning, right? Because they want you to believe we're right here and we're going to go into a bear market, when in reality we're at the end of a bear market, you know, because again, it's about Bitcoin dominance as well. So let's zoom in here. Yeah, we got a little bit of a pump here, so you could see, you know, we got you know, kind of a 3-way move. So it could be, for example, an impulse with a 3-way pullback, right? So you have 3, and then you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 there, a little bit of a base. So what now? So we have a pump, we took this high, so what do we want to see? We want to see a little bit of a flag, and we want to see a continuation to the upside, right? That could be a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder potentially. But yeah, it's, you know, we have to keep an eye on it. Nothing too crazy is going on here for the price of theta, but I do expect us to get back there probably this year, I would imagine, right? Because once this ABC is finished, guys, it's going to be big. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, you even have weekly bullish divergence. I mean, come on. Look, you have weekly so think about this just for a second. Let me paint a picture here. You have a massive impulse to the upside, 40, 50,000% move. You've been in a bear market since 2021. You have an A, you have a B, and you have a C. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. And you have, on this wave, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. And you have bullish divergence on the weekly. And you're at the end of the C wave. I mean, come on. That's got to be bullish, right? I mean, come on. You got to think about that. So, is it a for sure thing? Are we for sure? No. So what do? You dollar cost average. You just accumulate. You just buy as much as you can. You know, you got a paycheck. You get it every 2 weeks. Stop going out to eat. Stop buying stuff on Amazon. Stop. You got to be disciplined. If you want to be rich and you want to be wealthy and you want to be well off, you have to sacrifice now in order to live that way later. And it's very hard for young people to do that. But it was easy for me, right? Because, you know, I'm a little bit different. I'm real kind of cheap with my money. I try to only buy what I need. And, you know, it takes a lot of discipline. And, you know, because, you know, we're not millionaires and it's not so easy to do it, right? So whatever amount, whatever dollar I can get, whatever extra dollar I can get, I try to put it into crypto. So, and people are afraid to do that, but my philosophy is why? Because eventually we're going to go up. This is a platform. This is a wave 1. This is a wave 2. Eventually we're going to get a wave 3, guys. I mean, it's going to happen. We're going to get a wave 3. And even if we don't get a wave 3, we should get a 3-wave move. The markets moves in 5s and 3s. So if you move up in 5 waves with the 3-wave pullback, you should move up in 5 waves thereafter. Right? Now it's going to take, again, we have ammunition, regulation coming in. More regulation, right? More ETFs. We want to continue to legitimize crypto. Brad Garlinghouse did an interview the other day, and banks are still kind of on the fence when it comes to XRP or crypto in general because there's not a lot of framework in the banking. So they need a banking regulation bill so that banks can use it, right? Instead of just institutional things, you know. So, all right, is there any sequential here? Guys, oh my God, look at this. We're about to get a 9 in 2 days. Okay, so Sunday is the weekly close, right? We're on an 8, and we have a bullish. Look at that 8 candle. Look how massively bullish that looks. That looks insanely bullish. That is a very bullish hammer candle, right? And it's an 8. What happens next? We're going to get a 9 buy, guys. We're going to get a 9 buy. What happened the last time we got a 9 buy? Well, we went up pretty dramatically. Let's see exactly how much we went up here. If I can have control over my mouse. We went up like, 70, 80%. So, yeah, we want to see that 9 print, and we're going to get a 9. So that's cool. We had a 9 over here. Look, you had a 9 buy, you pumped. 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 I mean, come on. So if you want this indicator, you got to type in this right here, trend reversal predictor. It's a little bit different, but you can modify it to the way it looks like mine, because mine's called TD sequential. It's the same thing, but yeah, and basically what it is it's an exhaustion indicator. It lets you know when the price is becoming exhausted. Look at the 9 sell. Look at this. We came up, we had a 9 sell, we pulled back. We came up, we had a 9 sell. It was a red candle. It did its job. We came up, we had a 9 sell, we consolidated. We came up, look at this. The 9 on the weekly chart called the exact top for THETA, and then that was the sell, and that was it right there. So it did its job. So if you use it with Elliott Wave, it's really, really, really cool. So I'm expecting THETA So if we just take it right about there, to go up at least 6x, up to potentially 8, between 6 and really 20x, because I do think we could get to the all-time high very possibly this coming year. So let's see how it plays out. We just crossed an hour mark on the video. If you're still with me, I appreciate that. If you can hit the like button, that's awesome. Subscribe if you haven't. Consider joining. It's been a rough year, honestly, as far as viewership and just as terms of crypto, because it's been boring, right? Crypto's been going down. It's not really exciting. When Trump won the election, it was really exciting, but then when he took office, it's been boring because the hype was killed. But now a lot of work has been done, right? We have this stupid government shutdown. So the reason why you're not making money is because the Democrats want to give $1.5 trillion to illegal alien healthcare. That's the only reason. That is why our crypto market is being held back, because the government is not opening up to continue the SEC and the CFTC's job, which is to regulate the crypto market. And basically, this is all bullshit, right? So, anyways, when I look at HBAR, I just feel like I just need more. I'm not convinced that that's it. I don't know. It's just, to me, you came up, you came down, you just kind of needed to waddle a little bit here. And it could take a couple weeks before you get going. Other than that, we should just hit the low and then keep going. I just don't know if it's going to be capable where it's at right there. Let's look at Theta Fuel, though. I want to look at Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel's up 14%. What? It don't even look up. It don't even look like 14%. It looks still like it looks pretty bulimic, honestly. But we have this diagonal here, right? We have a falling wedge, guys. This is awesome. This is really good. We have an impulse. We have 5 waves down, right? We have 3 waves up, just like Theta, right? And are we about to get a 9? No, because we already had a 9. 2-week chart is on a 6. Let's see the monthly chart. Oh, wait. We're on a 6-week 9, guys. Wow. We're on a 6-week 9. Interesting. I don't know what that means, but definitely interesting. So yeah, we had 5, we had 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in the shape of a diagonal. So, oh wait, we had a 4-day 9? Oh, I just saw a 9 somewhere. Oh, there it is. We have a 5-day 9. Okay, that's good. The more 9s we can get, the more exhausted the price is becoming. Because remember, again, guys, the price has been going down since up here. God, that's so annoying. Since, let me see if I can use, I've reset this chart to the default settings and it still is doing that. So I don't know if it's an update. I don't know if other people have this problem, but it's so annoying. I'm just trying to get it right on the dot and it's just so hard. Okay, so we've gone down. Yeah, see, but it doesn't give me the day. I want to know exactly how long it is. So I know there's another tool I can use, but I'm just going to do this. So it's been 127 days. So think about that for a second. Look at the look at the RSI here. Look at the trend line, right? So you hit down, hit the top, hit down, hit the top, come down. So what's next? We should hit the top. So that means coming back up to here. So, the big thing is getting back above the bull market support band here, right? Because, it's still a little bit sketchy because it could still be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and come down a lot further down. So we could still have an extension to this wave. So just be aware of that, right? So again, you know, if we got something like that, let's say I'm buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip, and then we come up and then slam down. Do I get scared and then sell it all and say, oh man, I messed up? No. What do? I just keep buying the dip because I know eventually we'll make it out of there, right? Now with Theta Fuel, it's got to be a little bit more riskier. I would prefer more a coin that you know for sure is going to go. You know, Theta Fuel is still up in the air as far as you know, is it going to give us the returns we think? And I think it will, but it's definitely more on the riskier side because of how big the market cap is and whatnot. So, oh, I fixed it. Thank God. You know what? I'm so stupid. Oh my God. I had the freaking magnet on the whole time. I was wondering, what the hell? Why is it doing that? Why is it acting so dumb? It's been like that for like a week. Okay. So I had the magnet on the whole time. Unbelievable. I knew it was something I did. I was like, man, this is ridiculous. So, okay. So we have this falling wedge in here. You know, you got 5 waves. So I think it looks legit, you know. And then look, if we turn on the RSI, this RSI is the most oversold it's ever been, and that was in the height of the bear market. Look at this. Look how massive that crash is. Okay, that was a massive crash. Okay, that crash doesn't even come close to what this crash did in terms of the RSI. And you can say, well, that's bad. No, that's good. Why? Because we're oversold. We should be due for a big bounce. And if you look at this over here, let's turn on the let's look at the MACD here. So let's get rid of this now. Go to the weekly. So you could see, look at the divergence from there to there. That's some big bullish divergence right there on the MACD. Just want to point that out. So I think that's pretty much it. But there's a big thing too, is total 3. This is what we really need to talk about, because this is the key to the whole puzzle, right? So, okay, so this chart right here, this is probably the grand finale. This is the most important part of what I'm about to say. This chart represents all of the altcoins. Okay, so if this chart represents all of the altcoins, then you can see it's been going up. But if you look at most altcoins, they haven't. They've been going down. So what the hell is that? That is mostly Ethereum and XRP and some stable coins. So if we go to others, let's see, others. You could see it looks a lot different, right? It looks different. You know, we're in the middle of the range, not so much, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we have A, B, and now we get C. But the problem is C just doesn't look finished to me. It doesn't have that finished look. You know, it could be finished. Like this looks finished to me, but this is just like a big candle, a wick, and then a couple candles here. So either we have to come down, test the rest of the candles, build a base, and then continue, or if this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we come down and finish for 5. You know, and that's what makes it a little bit challenging. Since we had this big long wick, you know, we swept the lows here. So it's definitely looking interesting. Let's take that. And then we'll take this, we'll bring it to the top. And then as far as total 3 goes, let's look at this again here. So we really want to see this get broken, right? Obviously. So this is a bull market. The bear market started here. So all of this is a bear market, right? This is a bear market. And then you can say, oh, now this is a bull market, but really you haven't went into price discovery yet. So that's what makes it a little bit challenging. So we want to see this kind of like give us a little bit of a flat, which it is, right? You build a base, you move up, you flag out, which is like a base, right? You break out, and then you're building another base. So once this gets complete, then we can go up. So here's the grand finale. Here's where it really gets interesting. So idea number 1, this breaks out either soon, or it's going to give us a little bit more down and then break out. So that's the idea right there. Boom. The alternative to this is we have a rise, crash, retrace. We got to go down into reaccumulation, and then we go sideways, and then we break out, which would totally freaking suck because we would have to deal with that for the next several years. So either we break out now and then we fizzle out, or we continue to come down and then break out eventually. Now, honestly, probably the best route is to come down sideways then out, because that will allow us to get that reaccumulation structure, right? Because you have a cup, is that the handle right there, or do we need a bigger handle to get going? Right? You could see how we came down, you made a double bottom, right? So do we need somewhat of a double bottom in here? Do we need another low? That's the challenging part about it, right? I would say as long as we just stay above this trend line here, right? I mean, that's pretty simple. Just keep it above that trend line, and I'd say we're doing pretty good. So this is total 3 minus Tether and USDC. You can see it's a little bit weaker. And this is total 3 minus XRP USD minus ETH minus Tether minus USDC. So yeah, as long as we stay above this level, I'd say we're doing pretty good. So let's see. I think that's it. I don't want to, too long. No one watches if it's too long. We looked at Litecoin, right? Yeah, so Litecoin looks great. I want to see it get back above the bull market support band. I think Litecoin's going to be awesome. I mean, look, you've been going sideways for year after year after year after year. So it's relatively lower risk, in my opinion, because you have these corrective structures. You pop up, you have these corrective structures. So there's a lot of support here. Versus something like, maybe like ZCASH, where it just went flying. I still haven't even looked at ZCASH yet. Here it is. Damn, it's up 30% just today. It makes me sick to my stomach just looking at it, knowing that I just did not get to participate in that. But, I'm happy if you guys did. If you guys got in on that, awesome. I was more in the Monero camp. But, look at the 3-way pullback. You have an impulse, 3-way pullback. I saw this action in here and I didn't think too much about it. But, God dang, look at that thing. That thing is flying. I definitely would not want to buy it now. Look at, we basically went, Guys, we basically took 8 years of price action within literally a day, a couple days. Look. Come on, why is it being... So we literally took... I'll start it from here. We took... It took basically, let's say, 200 to 300 days. And this whole thing was 2,000 days. So it took... So we've been going... ZCASH has been going down for 2,700 days. And ZCASH took all of that back in less than 200 days. That's crazy.
Your drink is right there.
That is crazy. So, you know, we got V-Chain in the house. You know, let's see if we get anything here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It's going to have to prove itself here. XRP dominance. We want to see this take off. It's looking really good. You got 1, 2, 3. You got a flat here for a 4. Oh my God, Algorand's up 17%. Wow. Like I said, man, you guys should have been buying the dip. Don't listen to the bear people. Like, oh, you know, even if we do go into a bear or continue the bear, it's still good prices. It's still good prices. Why? Because look, you're on the trend line here. You had 3 waves down, and you're on the trend line. So, I mean, you know, it's definitely noteworthy. CRV could be a massive one too, because this is an impulse. This is a 3-way pullback. So this thing could be a rocket ship, and I think it will be. Look at how tight that is in there. You know, it's at 50 cents. The all-time high is what, like 640? So even if it got to the all-time high, that's way more than XRP will ever get. What about Chainlink here? Chainlink's another one, you know, it's going to be a decent one here. It kind of looks like Total 3, honestly. Yeah, I just don't know if that's an ABC. We got 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC. I mean, it looks legit. It just, you know, you got this trend line here. Got that there. It's kind of meet each other in here. So if we could get out of here, that would be a good thing. But ICP, man, that thing really took off. So that's what we want to see, like something like THETA do, if we can. Whoops, that's not THETA. There we go. So it kind of looks like THETA there in a little bit. See the price action? Look at that. So you could see what ICP did, right? And if you put it down, I mean, you know, it looks pretty decent. So theoretically, we should, you know, we should get something exciting here. Let's put, so here's THETA, and then let's put on ICP here. And I'm just going to match it up, but on the other side of the chart. So, all right, let's get rid of all of that. And let's zoom in here. So you could see there's ICP, and then here's THETA. So it's very possible for THETA to get, based on the structure of ICP, based on that, it's very possible for THETA to get that as well. And I think we will. You know, it's all about rotations and stuff like that. So, You know, this is going to set up an interesting week. You know, we were getting a little bit, you know, because it's November now. By the way, we didn't even talk about the monthly close that we just got. You know, we everybody basically fell asleep at the wheel. You know, it's actually October, right? So let me get rid of that. So, you know, we just had our monthly candle, and you could see it was obliterated, but now we have a new candle, and you can see the new candle, right? That's why I knew when after November 1st hit, we were going to go down. Why? Because it had to test some of that candle. So is it done testing it? I mean, it's possible, right? We didn't want it to pump super early in the beginning of the month. We want to pump sort of in the middle, right? And it's November 7th right now. So, you know, it's the first week. So we're looking pretty damn good, guys. We're looking pretty decent. It shows us that buyers are stepping up to the plate and they're defending this level. So I think that's going to do it. Let me look at one more chart. It's got to be Monero. I just want to show you something real quick here. Well, wait a minute. What's Bohm doing? I didn't see Bohm yet. Hold on. Let me look at these altcoins real quick. Boom, you got 5 waves down. You know, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I was actually looking at THETA. Oh my god, dude. I literally was looking at this yesterday. Wow. Yeah, see, I wouldn't buy that. I just don't really trust it. You know, I don't know. Like, it could go up a little bit. It could go up a lot more. But you're in a downtrend. You're going down, 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 down. You're in a downtrend. So this is, don't let it fool you, right? What has to happen is we have to break this trend line here. We have to break this line. And it's being manufactured as if it will break it. I mean, you can see how massive. I mean, this thing's been going down for a while. Right? So once this breaks out, you're gonna get a big retrace. And that's what I would wait for. Near's looking really good because it's building a base. It looks like to me that it's potentially Wyckoff in here. Right? Hit the high, hit the low again, come back, hit the high, sweep it, and then come down, sweep the lows. Right? So you want to come up here and then break out. Looks good. Oh, Axelar. Yeah, I bought this yesterday. And